What's up, guys? It's Benny. The number one trend in the world right now is this Indian airliner smashing into a building after some type of terminal, catastrophic technical difficulty on the plane and just exploding into just a monster fireball. Look at that. I mean, geez. An Air India Boeing 787 Dreamliner. It crashed shortly after takeoff. It was bound for London. This is going to be traveling to one of the largest cities on Earth. It had 242 souls offered. Please pray for them. This is horrible breaking news. You can see the aftermath here. It smashed into a massive building, and the building is now in flames. Obviously, there are going to be a lot of casualties here. You can see the devastation, and then also some of the scenes from inside of the hospital afterwards. All right, let's talk about where this was. It's Ahmedabad, India. Again, it was bound for London, Gatwick Airport specifically. And a number of international passengers, 53 of the passengers were British, in fact, on this aircraft. 242 people total. Let's get into more details here and then talk about what happens next. Air India 787 Dreamliner crashed in residential area of Ahmedabad shortly after taking off, killing 242 people. It was bound for London. It issued a mayday call before crashing. The crash site was located between a civil hospital and a neighborhood camp. The flight included 169 Indians, 53 British people, 7 Portuguese, and 1 Canadian. The crash also caused additional casualties on the ground due to the residential location. Eyewitnesses, people jumping from the buildings to escape the flames, burned bodies and smoldering wreckage. Prime Minister said it's heartbreaking beyond words. Here's the Prime Minister's commentary here, Nirdal Modi. The tragedy in Ahmedabad was stunned to dust, heartbreaking beyond words, sad hour. My thoughts are with everyone affected. We've been in touch with the ministers and authorities working to assist those affected. Whew, man, the aftermath looks just catastrophic here. And the just crazy scenes. Like, look at this right here. This is the tail of the plane just in the side of the building. Just smashed right through the concrete. The crash comes as Air India's major fleet expansion, including a 23 order of nearly 500 aircrafts from Airbus and Boeing. Boeing stated it is gathering more information about the incident. This is a Boeing Dreamliner. Again, Ahmedabad Airport was shut down. All flights were emergency center. My question about this is, why is it happening so much? There's a lot of plane crashes. Look at these photos of the tail of the plane and the side of the building. Ooh, goodness, you can see all the fuselage. Oh, yeah, you can see you can see all these plane parts just everywhere. There you go. Devastating. And again, a lot of people affected. It was bound for London. I mean, I guess, geez, could it have crashed, crashed into downtown London with all the skyscrapers and everything? On down flames just moments after takeoff. No politics, no point scoring, silence, smoke, and sorrow. Why is this happening? Why are there so many plane crashes right now? We've seen jets smash into the ground throughout America. A lot of major plane crashes in metropolitan areas. Is obviously the one that is, sticks with me is Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C., where a Apache helicopter, Army helicopter, smashed into the side of an airline, cut everybody to pieces. The rotors just went right through the fuselage there, just chopped it up. So, like, what's exactly happening? I mean, obviously, this is an area that is very politically charged, right on the border of India and Pakistan. Pakistan within India, enjoying the Air India crash. Okay, there's always going to be goblins on the internet. Absolutely gutted to hear about the crash. Thoughts and prayers for the bereaved families and love. As a member of parliament in India. Okay. So what exactly happened here? Yeah, they just made a major expansion. That's what this is. They made a major expansion. Described by plane crash, extremely terrifying. Initial shock, panic, followed by pain and numbness, overshadowing feeling of helplessness. My heart goes out to the families. 242 is a packed plane. Please explain to me why this keeps happening. Like, it just seems like this is happening a lot. Is there any indication that there's some type of like nefarious activity here? Is there something that's like wrong with these aircraft? Seems to be a lot of planes crashing. That being said, the planes crashing, is different than a car crash. Cars crash hundreds and thousands of times a day. Planes by relatively crash less, by the number of actual passengers inside of them. But the crashes look like this, right? They're total spectacles and horrifying. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, here's further reporting on this incident. I hope that they get on this. You must have air travel to have a functional economy. Many people are speculating that maybe there was, some type of like nefarious activity here because it's wars, India and Pakistan, they're fighting. There's been terrorism in this part of the world. No, that's just pure speculation. We have no evidence to prove that at all. But this is just just an absolutely horrible thing to see. And we pray for everybody on board, and we hope to get some answers, because the year's 5, right? Like we shouldn't have to deal with this. All right. It's your boy Benny. Here's further information. See ya.
Straight to a Fox News alert. An Air India plane with 244 people on board bound for London Gatwick Airport crashing shortly after takeoff into a residential area in India. A huge plume of thick black smoke you can see filling the sky.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of this for the first time, too. The aircraft is a Boeing 787 and received the last signal just seconds after takeoff at 625 feet. According to flight radar, that is, India's aviation ministry also says the nation is on the highest alert and rescue teams have been mobilized.
So this is what we know. All flights are currently suspended at that airport in India until further notice. There is no word on any casualties yet, and the airline says that they will share more details when they are available. Britain is working with Indian authorities to urgently establish the facts.
Yeah, and it looks so another issue will be where it crashed, in a residential neighborhood. And that's, you wonder what's happening, people in their homes. Almost like Lockerbie, there were people that were hurt as the plane exploded in midair.
All right, let's bring in Mike Boyd. He's an aviation consultant. Mike, thanks for getting up this morning. I know this just happened. You probably don't know more than what we just talked about. But have you heard about any fatalities? And what do you think went wrong? Another problem for Boeing.
Well, it is. It's the first 787 fatal crash in history. That's going to make Boeing not too happy. But just looking at the pictures that are there, and you got as much as I do, it looks like the airplane took off, lost power, and went down. There are other videos coming out, and it's confused, where they show survivors. So maybe there's good news here. But the real issue now is what caused this airplane to go down, and everything is speculation. Well, the only thing we know for sure is it did go down. And the question is, what is Boeing going to be doing? Believe me, they'll be all over, because up till now, this airplane has had a spotless safety record.
So, Mike, for what we know on most of the crashes that happen, we later found out that most of them happen because of human error. I know you don't know a lot about this crash. We're still learning this. It's a very fluid situation. But what is the first thing that comes to mind now when you see a crash like this that could have happened?
Well, when we see the video of an airplane obviously on takeoff and then slowly going down, the first thing, they lost power, obviously, somehow. So the first thing that comes up is, you mentioned human error. Everything is human error. These things are made by the hand of man. So something must have happened like that. And we don't know, but we'll know going forward. The real issue is Boeing will be all over this. The NTSB will be all over it. The Indian authorities will be all over it. Because up till now, again, it's been an incredibly safe airplane. So they'll be looking at the human factors as well.